Everyone has this athlete, everyone has this kid. You know it, I know it, you've seen it, you worked around it. The kid is stalled, the kid is plateaued. Maybe it's your sophomore or junior year in high school, maybe it's not until college, maybe it's not until they're no longer the big fish, maybe it's the first time they have adversity. But either way, every kid goes through a plateau. Every coach does, every team, every relationship, every business, you name it. So stick with me. I'm going to go through the exact framework. How do you fix that? How do you fix the plateau? My name's Jim Beebe. I run Athlete Builder. This is one part of the Building Champion series. So this is part one. What's my background? Weirdly enough, 15 years finance and investments. MBA from Purdue, banking, commercial lending, Wall Street, trading, hedge fund. Did 15 years of that, and then the next 14 years, I've been working with athletes. Been an athlete, coached athletes, sports performance, powerlifting, strongman, Olympic lifting, Highland Games, CrossFit. What's the commonality? In each instance, we're looking for root cause analysis. How can we get the highest return on our investments, on our assets? I'm that nerd athlete. How do I figure out how to get better? How can we get the most juice out? I put both those things together, and here we are with Athlete Builder. So today we're going to talk about how do we diagnose plateaus? How do we do that? First, let's go over a couple mistakes. First, mistake number one. I get asked this all the time by parents. Hey, coach. Hey, Jim. What's the one thing? Makes me nuts. There is no one thing. The one thing is that you probably think there's just one thing. Now, I can go through the root cause analysis and find the number one priority. Okay, I can do that. But there is no one thing. And as soon as you embrace the fact that there are lots of things, it's everything stacking together that builds the best athlete. It's the compound interest effect. Then you realize that the one thing is that it's everything, which can be overwhelming. So what else is the problem? Here's the big enemy. More is better grind culture. Keep doing the same stuff over and over again. We'll just keep getting better and better. And you might be getting better and better at the same stuff. If I'm playing basketball and I'm great at dribbling right and shooting with my right hand on a right-handed layup, once I've checked that box, if I can keep practicing that 1,000 times, once it's checked and I'm at that master level, it's time to find the next thing. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that everything else was going to get better. So there is no one thing, and the constant grind with the hack-selling gurus is one of the common enemies. A plateau is not a talent problem. It's typically not an effort problem. It's a root cause diagnosis problem. Either the athlete or the coach don't know how to figure out what's holding them back altogether. That's the problem. Then it becomes, can you diagnose it and can you execute it? It's not to be feared. We want to hunt for plateaus. We want to hunt for weaknesses. Every team goes through it. Every relationship, every business, every product, every service. Look for it. The person that looks for it and hunts for it is the one that's going to constantly get that feedback loop going and get better. Here's the big idea. It is a game of inches, just like the cliche says. Improvement happens 1 inch at a time across the whole athlete. Champions don't just last a little bit longer than the other guy. They last longer in the right area. Champions don't just do one thing 100% better. They do 100 things 100% better. So stop chasing the one big fix. Start stacking inches. Then you got a shot. All right. So I told you in the beginning, I'm going to give you the process on how to fix the athlete, how to diagnose everything. This is what we're talking about. It's a 6-inch block. The 6 inches block. This is what matters. The first 3 inches are with the head. The second 3 inches are with the body. So you as an athlete, let's look at your head first. First, there's going to be your mindset. It governs everything. It's how mentally tough you are. It's your core values. It's how you handle adversity, how you handle fears. It's your whys. It's how you decide, and it's how you commit. So work on your mindset. If I can work on that there, I can get you better. Now, even if you're driven, even if your mindset is driven, number 2 is your knowledge of your sport. If I'm just a really driven, hardworking person, but I have no idea what the different routes are as a wide receiver in football, I could just be running really hard straight, but never get the ball because I don't know the different routes. So a high level of sport-specific IQ also lives in the head, obviously. Can you be driven? Can you learn your sport better than anybody else? If I can move the needle there, better shot at getting better. Number 3, in your head is your mouth. What comes out of your mouth? How do you work with people? That's your teammates. Number 3 in the head is your teammates. 3 different kinds of teammates. 1 is your leadership team. Those are the captains on your team. Those are your coaches. How coachable are you? How hard do you seek out hard coaching? And coaches, do you communicate that we're looking for the hard coaching? Do you create an environment where hard coaching is sought after, where the ego is still safe while we're looking to get the athlete better? Number 2 is the athletes on the field for teammates. How do the athletes work with the people on the field and on the court or in the pool or in the track? And then don't sleep on and don't neglect the support team. That's the parents driving people around. It's the GAs in college. It's the assistant staff. It's other teachers. It's the interns. What we want to do is move the needle in all 3 areas in the head. So if I'm diagnosing the athlete's plateau and I'm looking at the head, I'm always going to start there first. If it's the body, it's pretty obvious. How do you train physically? Are you driven? Are you really smart on the field? Are you a great teammate, but you're weak? Do you have weaknesses physically? Is your posterior chain weak? So you're open up to injury? So what's your training like? That's number 1 for the body. Number 2 for the body, what goes in it? How do you eat? What's your nutrition like? How can you maximize that? How many high school kids just skip breakfast? Number 3 is recover. It's not how hard you train. It's how hard can you train, recover, and train hard again. So here's the diagnostic. Here's the process that you run. So listen up, coaches. I take an old undergraduate business school approach, which you see again in MBA school, a SWOT analysis. It's not sophisticated, but it does a lot of the work. So let's just start with mindset. Take the athlete, go through his strengths. What are the strengths on his mindset? List his top 3 strengths. The number 1 strength is that athlete's competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. That's what the athlete does to win. That's what a company does to sell more product. It's their competitive advantage. Keep raising their competitive advantages. They have a better shot of winning. Number 2 in the SWOT analysis, weaknesses. In their mindset, where is the athlete weak? What are his 2 or 3 weaknesses? What's the number 1 weakness? The number 1 weakness becomes the limiting factor. Louis Simmons, the weakest link, the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So its limiting factor is why that company can't sell more product. It's why that athlete gets beat. Figure out what the limiting factor is in their mindset. Raise that and start breaking through the plateaus. Opportunities. What are the 3 opportunities they have? Those are chances just to make an impact, make a difference, maybe improve. List what those are. That's just another target. The last one, threats. That's how the company gets beat and goes bankrupt. That's how the athlete gets beat and gets injured or kicked off the team. Drug use. So out late, so they're so tired they get hurt the next play or the next day at the game. So when you go through the opportunities, find the 3 opportunities, list number 1. That's their best target. Their threats, that's how they get beat. That's how they lose bad. That's how they might be out of the sport. List the top 3 threats. If that number 1 threat is really huge, that could be the source of the plateau. Fix that, then the athlete breaks through the plateau. So you run a basic SWOT analysis on their mindset. See where they're at. See what they need to work on and start prescribing habits to do that. Run the same diagnostic for the knowledge of their sport. Find a habit there. Run the same diagnostic for them as a teammate. So now you have 3 diagnostics on their head. Of those 3 diagnostics, which one is the priority? of those three. Now we crystallize it down to the one priority. There's still three things to work on. There's still 3-inch blocks to work on. What's the number one priority? Then you run the same diagnostic for the body. So what are their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in their training? What are they best at physically? Maximize that. That's how they win. What are they weakest at physically? That's their limiting factor. That's what's holding them back physically. What opportunities can they get better at on that day? And what's their threats? Where can they really get hurt? Maybe it's their nutrition holding them back in their body. What's their strengths there? What's their strength? What's their number one strength? Their competitive advantage food-wise. What's their limiting factor and their weaknesses food-wise, nutrition-wise? What's their opportunity nutrition-wise? What's their big threat nutrition-wise? Last piece is recovery. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Biggest strength, biggest weakness, biggest opportunity, biggest threat on their recovery. Now you got 3 more targets. You take the number one priority for their training, the number one priority for their nutrition, the number one priority for their recovery. Now you got 3 more inch blocks on the body side. What's the number one of those 3? You whittle it down. Now you got one big one for the head, one big one for the body. Between those 2, you can prioritize number one. So overall, you're going to have 6 areas where the athlete can improve. 6 different inch blocks where they can get better. Work on the biggest priority now, reassess in 30 days, keep doing it again. Now you have a repetitive cycle. Now you have a repeatable process. You can repeat the same process, the same diagnostic with every player on the team. Now it's easy for me to say that, and I could print out a series of sheets for you to do that, but I took it one step further, made it easy. There's a link, a diagnostic tool where you just click on it and fill it out and score things. It's very, very comprehensive. So click on the link in the notes, and then you're going to have the Athlete Builder tool for the SWOT analysis for diagnosing problems. You'll see it then, and then you'll see it in this week's 2-minute drill newsletter, and you'll also see it in my school account. So until next time, keep stacking wins, win the day, and stay relentless. See ya.